Hi there and welcome. Today I'm going to show you a really simple step-by-step nail art, perfect for St Patrick's Day. My husband is a huge Guinness fan, and while it's not to my taste personally, judging by a shortage of Guinness recently here in the UK, there are a lot of people who really love a pint of Guinness. Anyway, I was having a nice little think about what nail art to do for St Patrick's Day, and I thought rainbows, yeah, cute. Clovers, yeah, nice. Leprechauns, definitely a bit tricky for a novice like me. And I thought, while those are all nice ideas, it's just, I wasn't that excited about them. And that's when I looked down at my nails, these little pint-sized canvases of opportunity. And I thought, Guinness nails, perfect, why not? I'm super happy with how these turned out, and I also loved wearing them over the weekend. They were a great conversation starter and I had tons of compliments on them. I had never done these before, so the filming that you're seeing is the first time I'd done them, and I'm sure I would be getting better with a bit of practice. I definitely was getting better towards the end, but I'm pretty confident that even as a total beginner, you can totally nail this look. And please let me know in the comments if you do give this a go. I'd really love to know how you get on with them. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started.
So as always, you're going to want to start with your nail preparation, do any cuticle work that you need to do and make sure your nails are nice and clean. And then you can go ahead and create the shape that you want. So for these, we obviously want to have nails that look like individual pints of Guinness. So keep in your mind the proportions. Hopefully you can start this with a bit of length to your nail and then file the ends down so they're quite square at the top, and then just round around the corners a little bit, just soften off those edges to recreate that perfect pint with the nice foamy head on the top. If you do have shorter nails but still want to do this look, I would recommend just leaving the two sides of your nail clear and just doing a couple of strokes of black down the middle, and then you can still get the proportions of the pint glass. If you have got a bit of length, this is what you're aiming for, a nice pint-sized nail. Then apply a base coat. I'm using a Barry M1 here. Now it's time to apply a black polish. I used this one from Mina. I hadn't used it before and I have to say I struggled with it. It was quite hard to apply, didn't love the brush, and it went on quite streaky. So I actually had to do 3 coats of black polish here, but hopefully you've got a better one than this one, and 2 should be just fine. So just see how you get on and just try to go all the way to the edges and do a nice satisfying black coat. I left it a couple of minutes longer than I would usually between coats, just because we are going to be going over the top. So you want to make sure that this coat is nice and dry. And actually, in hindsight, I would have put a top coat on after the 2 coats of black. I didn't do that and later regretted it when I was sponging on the white. It didn't go too badly, as you'll see, but yeah, if you want to apply a coat of top coat, I think that would help. You can see here I'm just doing a bit of a tidy up. This is something I always do if there's any bits that aren't absolutely perfect that you just want to straighten up. It doesn't necessarily have to mean it's gone on your skin, but sometimes it's just a bit of a line that isn't quite as straight as you would like, and I really wanted these to be looking like a pint of Guinness and therefore nice and neat. So just go ahead, use a little bit of acetone on a nail brush and get them looking lovely. Next up, you're going to use a standard makeup sponge. I found one here that had a flat edge, which is perfect, but you can always just cut the flat edge otherwise. I used an SE polish for the white called Blanc, and you want to just apply the nail polish directly to the sponge and then just go ahead and dab it onto each individual nail. I used the flat edge at the bottom so that there's not too much gradient, and you can see it doesn't look brilliant on the first coat, but as you keep kind of dabbing it, it gets better. This is where I wished I'd put a top coat on the black. As you might be able to see there on the sponge, a bit of the black did lift off. It wasn't a problem though to the end result, but yeah, I would in hindsight have put a coat of black. It also meant that you would then have a super shiny, glossy nail, and I didn't end up putting a top coat on the final nail because I liked how the foam looked when it was dabbed on. Gave it a really nice texture and made it look slightly more realistic. So I decided not to use a top coat, which I was very happy with that decision, but I would have put a top coat onto the black had I sort of realised I was going to do that. So you can learn from my mistakes there. So you can see I'm just repeating the steps, dabbing it on, reapplying whenever it just feels like there's not much going on. You can't really get this too far wrong, to be honest. Just make sure you're being quite accurate when you originally place the sponge over the top of your nail. I'm dabbing the very top of my nail here, right at the end, just because you don't want any black showing through. And there they are. I think they look quite nice just like that, to be honest. You can already see they look quite recognisably like a pint of Guinness. So you could just do that if you're pushed for time or you don't have a gold or a brush to do the final step with the logo. Now here I'm using some tin foil. You can use a lid of something otherwise, and a Sally Hansen gold. Try to find a gold that's not too glittery. Quite a lot of golds have a lot of glitter in them, and that makes it much harder when you're doing a small, accurate nail art. It can get a bit clumpy. So try to find one that's a nice solid gold colour if you can. And I'm just having a bit of a practice. You want to use quite a fine nail art brush here. If you don't have one, they're really inexpensive and easy to get on Amazon, or you can get them in a local beauty shop. And just practice as much as you want on the back of a tin foil or somewhere else. And as I said at the beginning, I definitely got better at these as I went along. But even if you can just do a little triangle, I think that really gives the idea of the Guinness logo. I tried to do the two bottom sides of a triangle and then a bit more of a swoosh on the top to give it that harp shape. The Guinness logo is a harp, so I managed to do the sort of triangle with a swish at the top, and then I did some really fine lines here just in the middle to give you the idea of those harp strings. They're not the most perfect, but I think for the size they're going to be, it just gives the suggestion really of that Guinness logo. So I was really happy with how these turned out, and I think that's what really makes it recognisably Guinness. And there's the end result.
So there they are. I really hope you like them. They're just a bit of fun. I think it's nice to be really light-hearted with nails sometimes and not take them too seriously. And if there's anyone who knows about enjoying life, having a good crack, it's the Irish. So have a great St Patrick's Day to everyone celebrating. And whatever the occasion, I'd love to know what you think about these nails, whether you gave them a go. Do you have a nail art favourite that you always go back to for St Patrick's Day? Do you go for green? I'd really love to know in the comments, so please do let me know. And if you liked this video, please like it as well. That would be really great. And please subscribe if you would like more nail inspo, tips and tricks. I'm not promising perfection, but I can promise you'll be in good hands.